Shakaraku shakabarara. Shakaraku shakabarara. Shakaraku shakabarara. I destroy their destinies.
Akokwa. Nestled in the heart of Africa, there lived a barber named Kofi. Kofi was a well-respected member of the community, known for his exceptional skill with scissors and clippers. People came from all over to sit in his chair and receive a shave or a haircut, but little did they know Kofi had a dark secret. As the sun rose over the village, Kofi opened his shop, ready to start another busy day. His first customer, a young man named Kwame, sat down in the chair, eager to get a shave before heading to work. Kofi lathered up Kwame's face and began to shave, his movements smooth and precise, but as he walked, his eyes gleamed with a sinister intent. As soon as Kofi finished the shave, he carefully swept all the hair clippings and placed them in a small bag. Kwame, oblivious to Kofi's true intention, paid for his shaves and left the shop, feeling refreshed and clean. But Kofi's work was far from over. He hasn't started yet. As the day went on, Kofi repeated the process with each of his customers, collecting their hair clippings and storing them in his bag. He also went to a female salon and started collecting the female's hair clipping, putting them in his bag. It wasn't until the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the village. That was when Kofi closed his shop and made his way to his occultic shrine. The shrine, hidden deep in the forest, was the place of dark magic and ancient rituals. Kofi had spent years studying the forbidden arts, and he had become a master of manipulating the destinies of those around him. And with the hair clippings he had collected, he was ready to perform his most powerful ritual yet. As Kofi began to chant and dance, the air around him grew thick with a strange energy. The hair clippings, once simple strands of keratin, now pulsed with a malevolent light of their own. And as Kofi continued to weave his spell, the destinies of his customers began to unravel, their good fortunes slipping away like sand between their fingers. But Kofi's power were not limited, and his ritual came at a great cost. With each passing moment, the barber's own life, his life force began to ebb away, his body growing weaker and more frail, and yet he continued to chant and dance, driven by a hunger for power and control. As the night wore on, the ritual reached its climax. Kofi's eye glowed with an otherworldly light, and the air around him seemed to vibrate with an evil energy. And in that moment, the barber knew that he had achieved his goal. The destinies of his customers were now in his control, and he could change and shape their lives to his whim. But as Kofi stood there, basking in the glow of his dark magic, he failed to notice a figure watching him from the shadow. A figure who had been tracking the barber's movements for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And as the figure stepped forward, Kofi's eyes widened in shock, for he knew that he had been caught, and that his reign of terror was finally at an end. The figure, a wise and powerful witch doctor, reached out and touched Kofi's forehead, and in that instant, the barber's power was broken, and his control over the destinies of his customers shattered. As the witch doctor turned to leave, Kofi collapsed to the ground. his body weak and frail, and as he looked up at the stars, he knew that he had been given a second chance. Yes, he had been given a second chance. A chance to redeem himself, to make amends, and to turn around. And so, Kofi vowed to use his knowledge of the occult to help others, to protect them from those who would seek to harm them. And as he lay there, surrounded by the darkness of the forest, he knew that he had finally found his true calling. The villagers, unaware of Kofi's dark past, continued to visit him for shaves and haircuts. But now, the barber scissors and clippers were used for good and not for evil. And as Kofi walked, he smiled, knowing that he had been given a second chance to make a difference in the world. But the villagers began to notice a change in Kofi. He seemed more confident, more self-assured, and as they looked into his eyes, they saw something there that they had never seen before. A glimmer of hope and a spark of redemption. And so, the villagers began to whisper among themselves. They whispered about Kofi's past, about the dark magic he had once practiced, but they also whispered about his redemption, about the good he was now doing in the world. As the day turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into moons, Kofi's reputation grew. People came from all over to visit the barber, not just for a shave or a haircut, but to seek his counsel. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.